Well, it's in some ways a hard film to describe. I mean, on the surface, it's about this perfect American family. Colin Farrell plays this cardiac surgeon. His wife is a doctor. They have two beautiful children. And into that world, because it's a Yorgos Lanthimos film, there's something slightly out of kilter, and you realise he has this friendship with this kid, and you're not entirely sure the context for that. And eventually, what you come to learn is that this child's father died on the operating theatre, Colin as surgeon, and that the kid holds Colin responsible for that death. And really it's just the playing out of the consequences of that, and it's an escalating situation. And so it starts off, it's as you'd expect with a Lanthimos film. It's darkly humorous, but also gets very tense and a psychological thriller. So it's a bit of a hard one to categorise and to give a synopsis of, but that's my best attempt. So.
Quite a unique, quite a memorable title. Can you talk a little bit about the significance of that and how that was landed on?
Yeah, I mean, it's, if you get to speak to Yorgos, he'll give you the proper context to it. But it's inspired by a Greek myth, the killing of a sacred deer, and it talks about a Greek myth where I believe the fleet was becalmed, and in order for the captain of the fleet to save the fleet, he had to sacrifice his own daughter. And that was the myth, the killing of a sacred deer. So that was the inspiration, the loose inspiration that Yorgos took to when he's starting out the screenplay. So he wanted to retain that. This is the second film Colin and Yorgos have done together, of course, and we had such an amazing experience with Colin on The Lobster, so it's great to have him by. And he gives a really mesmerising performance. Nicole Kidman is such an incredible star, and for me, it was a real revelation seeing her in this film. I mean, I think some of her strongest work that we've seen in years. But the real scene stealer is Barry Keoghan, he's a young Irish actor who plays the kid, and he is just amazing. Really kind of quirky, nuanced performance. And then Rafie Cassidy, the young girl, she's English actress. So they're all, and Sonny, the younger brother. I mean, all of the performances are flawless and very strong. So yeah, but let audiences make up their own mind, I guess. I think you kind of needed to find an actor who could portray vulnerability but menace at the same time, and I think that's something that Barry does incredibly well. So you're drawn to him, you're sympathetic, but ultimately, horrified and possibly repulsed by him. I mean, it's a very, very special performance, and very hard to pull off, but he does it really well. Well, I think what's great about this film is it really sits with you. It's not a film that you watch and then forget about. It just plays out in your head over days and weeks having seen it. And I think it's a film that challenges everyone who sees it to think about how they lead their lives, how they interact with their family, how they treat people. And ultimately it's a story about, how treating everyone with respect and being. So I think it gives you a lot to take away and think about, and it's also entertaining. I mean, it's a tough film. It is a thriller, so it's kind of there's scares in it, but ultimately I think it gives you a lot to think about.
I play Kim Murphy, who's the daughter of Stephen Murphy. Well, in the family, the daughter in the family. It's kind of an odd one because it's kind of about dealing with the consequences of your actions. It was really fun working with Yorgos. He's such an amazing director and kind of really lets you explore with the scene and wants you to strip everything back, just throw the actors thing out the window and just deliver the lines. The hardest thing was probably the crawling was kind of difficult. I mean, it was fun because it was a challenge, but it was difficult because I had to pull, especially down in the basement, I had to pull my whole body just with my arms, which was really difficult. But yeah, as in delivering the lines, probably I don't want to give it away, but my big monologues are kind of really fun but quite demanding. Well, to be honest, Yorgos didn't really want me to prepare. He wanted me to turn up just with the lines learnt and deliver it. He didn't, want any of the background doing. He just wanted you to deliver the lines as they were, as he wrote them. Yeah, so I suppose I didn't really prepare to.
Did you get a lot of support from Nicole and Colin?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're such great people and so caring and always, because I suppose they've been doing this for a while, always supporting what you're doing. And I suppose at first I was a bit nervous because, you know, that I watched them all the time on television. But then when I met them, you know, they were so down to earth and just like normal people. I was excited to work with them.
Did they give you any good advice?
Pardon?
Did they give you any good advice?
Well, I think just watching them was enough. Watching them perform. Yeah, they didn't specifically sit me down and tell me, but watching was amazing.
What makes this director such an absolute genius, and what was the most challenging part of this very complex role you've got?
He's a weirdo, that director. He's a weirdo. Money Mason. Nah, he's a genius, and that's what attracts me to it. You know, Yorgos Lanthimos is one I wanted to work with in my career at least. But getting to work with him at 24, I mean, it's a blessing. You know.
You've just come off the back of working with another one of your icons in Nolan. How do those two experiences compare? What makes them different as storytellers?
It makes them similar because they're both very precise and they're both masters of their world, and I mean that. They're both just visionary, like they just know, like, you know, they really are masters. It was funny doing this movie, you know, chest hair and armpit hair, and it was funny.
What did you take from the character as a person, as an actor as well?
Nothing. I don't want to take on from him. He's a weirdo. He's a weirdo, that character.
But how could you develop the character? Like, if he is a weirdo, he was too far away from you as a person.
Yeah, I mean, he's a teenager, you know. He's a clever teenager seeking a father figure and plotting a revenge. I don't come anywhere close to him. Probably seeking a father figure, yeah. But.
Barry, in terms of that father figure, can you tell us a little bit about what it was like working with Colin and the rest of this amazing cast?
Yeah, Colin and Nicole were like a mother and father on set and really looked after us young crowd. They really did. They cared for us a lot.
Any particular words of advice for you?
The thing is, they don't give advice and the great ones don't. I always say this. You watch and you learn from them. And that's that, like, you know, you learn a lot from them.